yourself very, very much. She hugged you, but here's the part most men completely miss. If you think a hug is just a friendly gesture, you are ignoring one of the strongest psychological attraction signals women give. The real meaning isn't and the hug itself, it's and what happens during and right after. And once you understand this, you'll never misread attraction again. Stay with me because this changes how you see every interaction from now on. The psychological meaning of a hug as a relationship psychologist, I can tell you that physical touch is one of the most powerful nonverbal communication tools humans have. When a woman hugs you, the behavior is really random. From a neurological perspective, hugging activates the release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. This chemical increases feelings of trust, safety, and emotional closeness. However, attraction isn't determined by the hug alone. It's determined by context, duration, body alignment, and emotional congruence. A hug is a data point, not a verdict. In clinical observation, romantic interest tends to show up as consistent proximity-seeking behavior. If she moves toward you physically more than others, that pattern is meaningful. One hug may indicate comfort. Repeated voluntary closeness often indicates emerging attraction. The key distinction is intention versus social conditioning. Some individuals are socially affectionate, others reserve physical contact for emotionally significant connections. Understanding her baseline behavior is essential before drawing conclusions. 2. Duration and nervous system activation. Research in interpersonal neurobiology shows that physical contact lasting longer than 30 seconds begins to shift from social politeness to emotional engagement. When a hug extends slightly beyond what's socially required, both nervous systems begin to synchronize. The heart rate and breathing patterns sadly align. If she maintains the embrace rather than immediately disengaging, then may indicate emotional receptivity. However, the most revealing moment isn't during the hug, it's immediately after. Observe eye contact, pupil dilation, facial softness, and vocal tone. Attraction often manifests as a sudden nervous system arousal, a slight hesitation, a softer voice, or increased attentiveness. These microsignals are more reliable indicators than the hug itself. In psychology, we evaluate clusters of behavior, not isolated gestures. If this makes sense, hit like right now, subscribe for more. 3. Initiation as a marker of interest. Initiation is one of the strongest predictors of attraction. And when a woman initiates physical touch, she's taking a social risk. A risk-taking behavior in safe environments is often linked to curiosity or interest. From a behavioral psychology standpoint, people repeat actions that produce positive emotional outcomes. If she hugs you first, it suggests prior interactions with you have been emotionally rewarding. However, interpretation must remain measured. Attraction develops in stages: comfort, curiosity, emotional investment, and then romantic escalation. A hug typically falls within the comfort or early curiosity stage, mislabeling early stage behaviors as a for romantic commitment is a cognitive distortion known as a projection bias. Assuming someone feels more than they have demonstrated. 4. Emotional safety as the foundation of attraction. In long-term relationship studies, emotional safety consistently ranks above physical appearance as a predictor of romantic development. If she hugs you comfortably, it indicates she perceives you as psychologically safe. Safety lowers cortisol, stress hormone levels, and increases openness. Attraction can't grow in a state of threat or uncertainty. Therefore, if she voluntarily closes a physical distance, your presence likely reduces rather than increases her stress. This is significant. However, attraction requires more than safety. It also requires a polarity and intrigue. Safety creates the foundation, but mystery and confidence create romantic tension. If you overanalyze or overreact to the hug, you risk destabilizing the emotional safety that allowed it to happen. When a woman hugs you, what did you assume? Attraction or just friendly? 5. Body language alignment. In nonverbal communication research, mutual body alignment is a strong attraction indicator. During a hug, notice whether her torso faces you directly or remains partially angled away. A full alignment often signals openness. Additionally, observe muscular tension. A relaxed body indicates comfort. A rigid posture suggests formality. Another factor is hand placement. Hands placed higher on the back or lingering slightly may indicate warmth. Lower brief contact is often socially neutral. Yet again, context remains critical. A farewell hug in a group setting carries different meaning than a spontaneous hug during an intimate conversation. Interaction psychology emphasizes situational awareness. 6. Behavioral consistency over time. One of the most common errors in dating interpretation is overvaluing signal events. In psychological assessment, patterns outweigh moments. If she consistently seeks proximity, maintains eye contact, initiates conversation, remembers personal details, and integrates touch, gradually attraction is likely developing. If the hug exists in isolation without other engagement behaviors, it may simply reflect friendliness. The brain seeks certainty, but attraction unfolds probabilistically. Think in terms of accumulating evidence rather than instant conclusions. 5. Reinforcing signals carry more weight than one emotionally charged interaction. Most men miss this. What happens after the hug that matters most to you? Comment below more dope videos on the way. Subscribe and comment with us. 7. The male cognitive bias. Many men experience what psychologists call confirmation bias after physical affection. Once they hope for attraction, they interpret ambiguous signals as proof. This often leads to premature emotional escalation, which can disrupt the natural pace of connection. The most psychologically attractive response to a high scan reciprocity match her level of investment. Don't exceed it. Emotional regulation signals maturity and confidence. Confidence increases perceived mate value more reliably than intensity does. In clinical settings, a stable emotional presence consistently outperforms dramatic romantic gestures in early attraction phases. 8. What truly matters after the hug? The hug itself isn't the defining moment. Your behavior afterward is. Attraction strengthens when emotional experiences remain positive and pressure free. If she hugs you and you continue interacting naturally, confidently, and attentively, you allow curiosity to expand. If you immediately seek reassurance or label the relationship, you can press the emotional space necessary for desire to grow. Attraction thrives in balanced tension, comfort combined with a subtle unpredictability. As a psychologist, I advise focusing less on decoding a signal higher and more on becoming the kind of a presence that consistently evokes warmth, safety, and intrigue. Even those elements are present. A physical affection becomes a natural progression rather than a mystery to decode. Thanks for watching all the way through. Make sure you send this to your person. Next videos on me. Take care.